doing our worst, saying that nothing good is happening in the country. Here is your evidence. The evidence that we are making giant strides. Young ladies who are working on heavy machinery at the East Legon Applied Technical Institute. A number of them have been taken on as interns in vehicle assembling plants in Ghana. Some of them have even secured jobs out of their schools. We have also embarked on a major transformation of education through the Center for Distance Learning and Open Schooling. Next academic year, we're going to, for the first time, have an online school, online high school. People who have been left behind can now enroll online, go to high school education, and also get their certificate. We need to make sure we carry everyone along. Through Sendelos, we're going to be launching next month our Ministry of Education TV station. So there'll be 24/7 programming. They've even procured a van that can go to various locations and broadcast live for the country to see. Very soon, we'll be telling our own story. The story of transformation will be seen at the MOE TV station. Digitalization has also found space in education. And now you have high school students getting tablets. One tablet, one student. The distribution is on course. One student, one tablet is an innovation that has come and is moving on course. I was with the vice president at Opokuware, where the smart classroom block was launched. And you can go and see the kind of tools and equipment that are there. And it was a great day. And that is what you're going to see being replicated in our high schools across the country. The distribution of the tablets are ongoing. The images, these are the junior high schools. Move on to high school, please. These are junior high school classrooms with tablets. I think I mentioned it earlier, that they're also getting tablets that they can use. This is Opokuware School in Kumasi. This is how the classroom looks like. See, the instructor is teaching. The smart board is there. Every student is on their tablet. This is the present and the future of education in Ghana. A number of schools have received their devices. It's just amazing to see how the students are focused. The new curriculum that is being implemented in high schools is being trial tested and full implementation is coming. All the textbooks are going to be loaded onto the tablets. So they are all e-books. And it's going to be fascinating as we train teachers to teach in an e-environment. Curriculum and Assessment, NACA, have done some great things. The new curriculum is going to come out soon. On teacher professionalization, and we have worked with various schools. GES have done a fantastic job establishing what is called professional learning communities. And I salute our teachers for investing time in their training and making sure they will equip themselves to lead the charge and transform our schools for now and the future. Touching on tertiary education. In the tertiary education space, 6 universities are going to be open by the end of the year. The construction is completed, and we have the bills in Parliament, and the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education is going to be working on them so that we can get the act that will establish them. Beginning with University of Engineering and Applied Sciences at Akrodie in Ahafo. We have University of Engineering Applied Science at Akrodie, University of Engineering and Agricultural Science at Bunso, University of Health, Agriculture and Life Science at Kintampo, University of Mampong in Ashanti region, and then we have the Local Governance and Leadership University is also coming. There's sports, University for Sports Development is also coming. So these are tertiary education institutions, and the whole goal is to make sure that we can increase the gross tertiary enrollment ratio of Ghana. When you look at the total number of students enrolled compared to the age bracket of 18 to 22, you're able to measure what is called the gross tertiary enrollment ratio. Ghana is now about 22. Countries that have totally transformed themselves get to about 50 for that to happen. So we have a long way to go, but we can get there. There's a bold agenda that by 2030, we should be able to hit 40% gross tertiary enrollment ratio. The moment we get that, things change in your country. It is seen around the world. Countries that have transformed themselves make sure they have the critical mass with critical minds to change their country. And you cannot do that without increasing your gross tertiary enrollment ratio. In the tertiary space, we also have no guarantor policy. I see the Student Loan Trust Fund Executive Director here, my younger brother Nuhu. And the kind of thing that they are doing there, which was started by Nana Ejeyebua, is that you don't need a guarantor to get a loan. And that is a watershed moment for our nation. A number of times you have students who needed a loan, but they needed somebody who can guarantee for them. And if their parents don't have pensions, how do they get a guarantor? It was a big problem. Now we also have TVET at technical universities, various science labs have been built, and university bills that we submitted. Open University is also coming. It's an exciting moment that we can have an open university. You can do courses online through correspondence and be able to get a degree, just like the person who go and sit at University of Ghana or at KNUST or other universities. Cape Coast Technical University, these are the labs. And it's fascinating when you go there and see a 2-story building built by the president with lab equipment at every floor for engineering. Case STU, same thing. Then my favorite one, pre-engineering. I tell the story of Kojo Mensah. Kojo Mensah is a young man who had a dream. In that dream, he was talking to God. God was talking and said, Kojo, you are going to be the best engineer in the world. Kojo Mensah said, God, it's not possible. And God said, I created you, Kojo. Why are you telling me it's not possible for you to become the best engineer in the world? He said, God, you know something? I'm a young man growing up in Ghana, and I'm doing visual arts in high school. Nobody will allow me to become an engineer. But what Kojo didn't know was that if he was to travel to America, he was the one that the universities would love to become an engineer, because they will equip him, help train him with mathematics and physics, and once he can pass his math and physics courses, they want Kojo to be the engineer, because the best engineers are the ones who can imagine and create. Now in Ghana, Kojo Mensah doesn't have to be in America in order for that to happen. At University of Mines and Technology, UMAT, and Pentecost University, they now allow students who did not do science but have creative energies to come in, and then they allow them to take courses in mathematics and physics and chemistry for 1 year, intensive. And after they pass the end line exams, they are allowed to pursue engineering. Nothing can stop a determined person from becoming who he really wants to be. A number of times our youth don't get adequate counseling. They follow their friends and say science is so hard. Then they go into home economics, they go into visual, they do other things. Then when they want to decide to change, we, the adults, tell them that no, you will never be able to change. If you wanted to do engineering, why didn't you do science? You are coming here to tell us that you did home economics and you want to be an engineer. We project our inabilities onto the child who is determined. Instead of saying, you have to do physics, can you? So, okay, I can do it. Because you see, if you do science for 3 years, because of the other core subject, Somebody who comes and do science intensive 1 year for just 3 subjects has the same level of content as the person who did it for 3 years together with all the other courses. Because when they come, they are not doing the core subjects any longer. They are just focusing on the physics, the chemistry, and the math. And therefore, when they pass the exam, just like anybody else, they should be able to do engineering and do it so well. I'm glad to hear that at UMAT, the Vice Chancellor tells me the students who came through pre-engineering in most of the courses are doing better than those who did science. These are determined students. Some of them went to schools where they could not do science, like myself. When I went to Jache Pramso Senior High School, there was no science courses there. You only did biology or general agric. And there are still some schools in that situation, which we are changing. But if that student wants to be an engineer, went to a school where he didn't get the opportunity, if you allow them, he will prove you wrong. And these young men and women are proving us wrong. In fact, the good news is that in these classes, you almost have gender parity. In your regular engineering course, you are not going to have as many young women that you have in this pre-engineering program. We are grateful to BOST for giving us the opportunity to sponsor a number of students for the pre-engineering. And it's working. And I'm grateful that we could do that with the universities. So GTech, working with the universities, have done a fantastic job enabling the students who otherwise wouldn't have found themselves in engineering classrooms to go there, to become software engineers, to become mechanical engineers, to become computer engineers, and do so many things for our society. The visual artist, by the way, is my favorite kind of person. Engineering came from art, but now the person who can draw cannot be an engineer. The most creative minds we have in the country are the visual artists. About 70,000 of them graduate from our high schools every year. Some universities will say, you cannot even come here and do any other subject unless you want to do art. We cannot leave these creative minds behind. We need to encourage them, and where there's a deficiency, we need to make sure we provide them the support so that they can move into the mainstream of society. If they find value in what they are doing in art, that is great. They can also continue because they felt that holds great promise. But if they want to change, we should give them the opportunity to change. Critical thinking is an aspect that we are all concerned about. We are concerned about a situation where it's about memorization. That kind of education system will not change our fortunes as a nation. Even if our children go to school, I will give them all the opportunity, and the exams is just testing them at the remember, understand, and apply level. It's not going to be. The new BECE is shifting the paradigm. If you're a parent, maybe your children may have told you the exams was hard. It was intentional. 40% of the questions were from level 4, 5, and 6. This is in education. It's called the new Bloom's taxonomy. Any teacher who is teaching have to use this to guide in writing their lesson plans. And if you don't use this, you may use what is called Webb's depth of knowledge. In each one of them, you have to look at how do you get the children to think critically. If all your questions are talking about define, list, repeat, state, the lowest level of learning, that is not the kind of place we want to be in order to create the critical minds to change Ghana. If you just say classify, describe, discuss, report, low level. If you are saying use the information to demonstrate application, you are not there yet. It is when you move up and say produce new or original work, assemble, construct, conjecture, develop. For example, if you are teaching pollution, if you ask the students to create a city without pollution, they are creating. In countries that have transformed their fortunes, that is the level where they are challenging the students to perform. They are challenging the students to justify a stand, to draw connections among ideas. Your exams will have 60% of that and 40% of the low level. That is how you change your country. So we are very much interested in the exam that is being set by WAEC. We are not going to allow a situation where the tail is wagging the dog. If the country wants to create critical minds, our examination system cannot be the examination system that enables students to memorize and pass. That era is over. So our teachers are going to then be encouraged to teach differently. Allow the student to be comfortable in your environment. Set the rules so that they cannot misbehave. But allow them to participate in the teaching and learning. We cannot tame our children and get them to be so quiet in our presence. Also, that child is so good. Oh, when he comes to my class, if you don't ask her to talk, she will not talk. She's so quiet. In this environment, gifted and talented students are the most miserable. Research have shown that between 6 to 10% of the population are gifted or they are talented. The gifted are the ones who are so smart and sharp. They'll get 100% on the exams. You teach them once and they get everything. They are gifted. If we do not introduce gifted and talented education in Ghana, those children become miserable because they don't conform to the norm. They don't easily take notes from the teacher. Their mind works differently. A number of times they are more likely to drop out because they can't keep up with the drudgery in the classroom. So one of the things that we are working on now that is going to cabinet for approval is the introduction of gifted and talented education in Ghana. Those individuals with gifts should be provided an environment where they will blossom. South Korea has done it, and the results are there for all to see. America has done it for years, and the result is there for you to see. When you pick those talented ones, the ones who can dance, the ones who can lead, the ones who can create some equipment that nobody has even taught them to do, if you put them together with those who are super sharp in one environment and you nurture and grow them, they are the ones who change the course of history of your country. A number of times I receive something on WhatsApp that said, look at these students. Can we find him a technical school? Because he's so good. He has even built a Pragia. He has built something. And I'm saying to myself, yes, the technical school is good. But if you don't put that child in a gifted environment and talented environment, he will get bored at the technical school. Because the technical school, we're going to teach to the average. Enhance teaching and learning for gifted and talented students is something that will shift the paradigm for us as a nation. And that is going to be one of the last innovations that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is going to bring to the Ghanaian education system. So, you know, I'm a teacher and politician. In both professions, if you don't like to talk, you lose your job. So I always remind myself, when my time is up, I see it. I don't even have to look at the MC. I get a signal from within that the time is up. And we'll wrap up with my favorite kindergarten in Ghana, Adome Kwabenya. Look at the children. We are building a number of them like this. This ICT empowered, built by BSW, of course paid for by the government. It's an Israeli company. And if you go to Dome Kwabenya, and it's free. This is free. And look at that. This is the Ghana you want. A working parent can drop off your children early morning and know that they are in safe hands and they are being taught 21st century way. And unless you want to donate to the school, they won't ask you to pay anything. I believe middle class should have a break. After you pay your taxes, we, the government, should provide you quality learning environment so that you don't spend about 30% of your income in paying school fees. Your taxes should mean something to you. And this is a clear demonstration of what we are telling Ghanaians that we are capable of doing. That will create this positive, creative learning environment for your children. And you can come here knowing that the taxes that you paid is working for you. This is the new paradigm. I'll end with just one thing. An innovation by the girls of Afiakubi Ampem Senior High School in Ashanti region. What they did have shocked the world. Yeah, the KG people don't want to leave. When we talk innovation, we talk girls who are doing some marvelous things. From Sewanya, you go to Manfi Methodist girls. Now you go to Efiakubi. It's a fascinating story. I'm not sure if they are in the audience today. I invited them, but maybe they couldn't make it. There's a girls' school in Ashanti region that is doing some marvelous things. I'll move on to, they have, in fact, a tarmac. And they call this the Ukraine field. And I say, Ukraine field? You want the Russians to come after you? So this is their drone. And it's fascinating. We showed this in France and the World Club for Ghana. So you see, it's gone. You see, it didn't fall down. They just fast-tracked it so that it will land shortly. Otherwise, it took about 15 minutes, and then it came back to land. The students who did this, a number of them are not science students. One geography student, a young lady, told me, the minister, they are running away. See, it came back to land. This is the new Ghana. The young lady told me a fascinating story. He said, Minister, I'm doing geography. And I'm using longitudes and latitudes to program the drone so that it will find its direction back to where we sent it from. Longitudes and latitudes. Geography is helping these young ladies do the impossible. I tell you this. Our nation education system is stronger and better than we came to find it 7 years ago. There are so many images, let me conclude. It's better than we came to find it. It's better because the president gave us the free hand to innovate and transform the education space. I was first a deputy minister. And the minister in charge of the ministry at the time was Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. I worked under him. I got my chance and became the minister. I continued the work that the president did during the first term. Move on to the second term. Bring me back to the story of how he met me in America. And he asked me, whilst I was developing schools there, building schools in Los Angeles, with about 200 workers that I paid every month in charter schools. These are public-private schools. And the government paid for every student who came to my school. He asked me, would you come back to Ghana and help me change the education system? Today I feel fulfilled that I left what I was doing there. 3 schools in Los Angeles, and they are still functioning. I left and came because I saw sincerity in his voice. When he told me, he was not president then, he told me, I want to introduce free secondary education. And Americans were the first to do free secondary education. Can you bring your expertise back to Ghana to help me do it? I came because I had grown up in an environment where I was just fortunate to go to secondary school. My dad, a cocoa farmer, I won't say he was poor, but he had a cash flow problem. It was September. Cocoa had not been harvested and dried yet. No money to pay 40 cedis. Things were very difficult. My younger brother had an idea. He could sell a pig that he had been given to him by my uncles. He was taking care of their piggery. He said, my brother, I can't see you sitting at home. I'm selling this pig so that you can go. We sold the pig, we got 42 cedis. I was able to pay my deposit at Jate Pramso Senior High School. And I moved into secondary school so super excited. Through this intervention by my brother, I find myself subsequently in the United States of America, sponsored by that same brother, and developed schools in America. So when the president asked me, would you consider coming back, my mind went back to the opportunity I got from my brother, which others did not get. And I said to myself, if this man becomes president and he wants every child to get the opportunity that I got from my brother, why don't I go back? And that is why I came back to Ghana. I've come to meet a grateful nation at the airport, and many other public places. People come to me and say, thank you for your service to Ghana. That is worth more than anything I can get from my job. It's worth more than anything when a politician walking on the streets are accosted by an ordinary Ghanaian and say, we thank you for your service to Ghana. Ghanaians, as you watch this, I'm grateful to every one of you. I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful for your prayers. You've made me feel appreciated in this country. I have no regrets coming back to Ghana because I've come to a grateful nation. Come to a place where, under the vision of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we can truly change the course of history of our nation. To the President of the Republic, I'm eternally grateful. You gave me a chance, and I hope I have not disappointed you. I've taken directions from you. I've done what is expected, and I believe history will judge you kindly. That you are a president who cared for the people of your nation, and you did your very best to turn around the fortunes of your nation. You've given me some workaholic deputy ministers. This young man, the Reverend Tim Fojo, and now another one, Dr. Kingsley Nyakon, they all work hard. They crisscross the nation when there are events. On a short notice, you call them and they are running from one place to the other, supporting me so that the dream of the president will become a reality. To the vice president who has been so supportive, helpful to me, helpful to my cause, and helpful to the cause of the nation, I'll forever be grateful. Chief Director, head of agencies, every one of you have done a fantastic job. Headmasters, some of you call me out of the blue, say, Minister, we are checking on you. You make me feel so good that you have headmasters who care about you. Education committee, chairman, ranking, members of the committee, and all the work that you do every single day to support our ministry's cause. Traditional leaders who always will respond to our call and come and support us. To every one of you watching, I want you to know that a new Ghana has been established. We are moving on. Change has begun. Change will continue. We're going to get you into a nation where there will be opportunity for all, a robust middle class, going through universities, making sure you do relevant courses, helping you to secure jobs, innovating ourselves out of poverty. This, I hope, will be the Ghanaian story in the years ahead. God bless us all.
We can definitely do better. Thank you very, very much. Used to standing. I was just asking myself, there's a lot that has been done, but much hasn't been said about it. For tagged as critics of free SHS, one of the things we've always said about education in this country over the last 8 years, but particularly over the last 4 years, is the focus on STEM. And I have consistently said that if we had done this long ago, we probably would have been seeing much more than we're seeing now. So thank you very, very much, Dr. Yawase Duchu. It's good that you're focusing on STEM. It's good that you want us to lead when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution. It's also important that even at the African Union level, you've been recognized and been made to champion education on a continent level. But before you resume your seat, like we say in Ghana, I'm told that the education parrot, they say they have a citation for you. Yes, today is a day of lots of surprises. But you know, this couldn't have been possible without your team. So don't blame me. Members of your team, oh good, they've done this. So, yes, they hid it from you. Let's do the presentation. Where do we stand? I think we can stand here and have the presentation done to the Minister for Education. Yes, and so the patron will join. I think he may have to say a word or two as they present it to the Minister of Education. Let me see what's written there. Okay, this says, in recognition, recognizing his transformative contributions to Ghana's education sector and STEM advancement as Education Minister. His visionary leadership has shifted Ghana's educational paradigm to emphasize creativity, innovation, and critical thinking, aligning with global standards and positioning Ghana as a leader in educational innovation across Africa. We proudly confer upon Honorable Dr. Yawase Duchu the title of STEM Innovator Minister of Africa.
Well, thank you, Mr. MC. And we don't have words to, go ahead and explain the fantastic job that our minister has done. I just came back from London, and he made mention of some of the things that people cannot believe. I've taught in England for 25 years, and I can confirm wholeheartedly that what we're seeing here in Ghana is a manifestation of leadership. So, Mr. Honorable Vice President, Dr. Aduchu, we appreciate all the efforts that you put in transforming education in Ghana. A lot of people ask me in England, what is happening in Ghana? Some of the schools they see is even beautiful than the ones that we see in the UK. So we just want to say we appreciate all the efforts that you put in changing education in Ghana. We say thank you very much in all your endeavors, and we hope that the future and the foundation that you've laid for us will bring about the 21st century students that we want to see in our next generation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything you'd like to say? Honorable Yawase Duchu.
All right. Thank you. Now he has given me permission to say. Thank you so much, MC. I'm so grateful.
Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Yawase Duchu, Minister for Education and Member of Parliament for Bosomtwe. Great. So Before the vote of thanks, let me acknowledge the presence of Professor Yayira, who is Director of NACA. If you're here, Professor, just show us. Thank you very much. Dr. Christina Adepoku is Executive Director of the National Teaching Council. If he's here, yes. Professor Samuel Atintono is President of Prinkov, I beg your pardon, if you're here. Principals of the College of Education, if you're here. And Matthew Owusu is Deputy Director General NACA, if he's here. Engineer Peter Intribu-Esiako is Deputy Director of CTVET, if you're here. Lawrence Sapong is Deputy Registrar of the National Teaching Council. Nana Rekwampim is Board Chair of CTVET. And Dr. James Owusu, Leading Educational Consultancy in the UK, if you're here. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Nana Ansasa Siraku III, Manfehini and Chidomhini of Ekuapim. Thank you very much, Nana, for joining us. Nadinso Efriye III, Ghana Royal Click Club, is also here with us. Maidan Konama is Secretary to the Implementation Committee, Tepa College of Education. Rexy Mensah is Head of Implementation Committee of Tepa College of Education. And Nana Amwating Tufo is Ankobia Hine of Tepa Traditional Council. Thank you very much, Nana, for being here. And Nana Okufu Owusu Ansa is Odumase Hine of Tepa, all joining us. We also finally would like to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Mausi Nudeko-Awuti, who's Director General of the TVET Service. Bright up here is with the Child Rights International. And Dr. Hega Hildan-Pedu, who is Inspector General, NASIA, also here with us. Thanks to all of you for joining us. We now invite Pa Ramsey Eshen, who is Head Boy of PRESEC, to give us the vote of thanks. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and valued partners in education, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and our hardworking Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Se-Educhum, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for gracing this momentous occasion with your presence. Today, we gather at the Accra International Conference Center to celebrate remarkable strides made in Ghana's education sector and to underscore the unwavering commitment to all stakeholders to pursue excellence in learning. As a student, I have personally witnessed significant progress in various areas in my school, including my family not having to pay school fees to acquire such beautiful and wonderful education, the ability to engage in 21st robotics and STEM education, and I am more engaged in class activities due to the interactive approaches used by my teachers. We are deeply honored to have such a diverse and influential gathering of individuals representing the very fabric of our educational landscape, from our esteemed members of parliament who champion education policy and resource allocation to the dedicated heads of schools. We say thank you for your tireless efforts in nurturing students to become future leaders. We extend our deepest appreciation to the teacher unions and the heads who tirelessly ensure quality and effectiveness in our teaching force. Your unwavering commitment to professional development and advocacy for improved working conditions for educators is a testament of dedication and hard work into improving our sector of education. To the parents, guardians, and teachers, traditional authorities who provide the foundation for our education of our children's journey, we express our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support and encouragement. Your involvement in children's learning and your active participation in schools activity are invaluable in creating a nurturing and supportive environment for their development. Industry players, development partners, civil society organizations, and faith-based organizations, your invaluable contributions to the education sector are deeply appreciated. From providing resources and job opportunities to advocating for policies that promote inclusivity and equity, your diverse perspectives and practical support enrich the learning experience for our youth. We are proud of the progress achieved, but we recognize that there is still much work to be done. we must continue to strive for inclusivity, equity, and equality in education, ensuring that every Ghanaian child has the opportunity to reach their full potential. We are eternally grateful to all those who have contributed to the success of this event, not understating that our hardworking organizers and volunteers, your tireless efforts and unwavering dedication have ensured a smooth and yet another experience for all participants present. As we conclude, let us remain inspired by the spirit of collaboration and shared responsibility. Let us continue to work together, drawing upon our diverse perspectives and collective expertise to create an education system that empowers every Ghanaian child to become a successful and contributing member of society. Thank you all very much for your unwavering commitment to education and making this yet another success. God bless you.
Thank you very, very much, Pa Ramsey Eshen, for that vote of thanks. I like the young ones when they are very articulate and they make all the points. Let's give another round of applause, It means that when we are away, we can leave the country for very great men. That's very important. But let me also acknowledge the presence of Edmund Mukala, who is the head of the UNESCO office and representative to Ghana, and my friends from the media who are also here. Thank you very much for joining us. Morning show host in Accra and those from Kumasi who have all made time to be here. I see you are seated in there, but the lights are on me, so I can't recognize you and mention your names. But please bear with me. You can just show us by a wave if you're here. We acknowledge your presence, that you joined us here. Sure, I'm told that many of you came here. So it means we're getting to the end of the program now. We can now have another student give us the closing prayer, this time from Ebri Girls, Esla Hagan. Let's welcome Esla Hagan.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. May we all rise as we take the closing prayer. Shall we close our eyes? Indeed, Lord, we are grateful. Your grace is sufficient for us. When we began this program, we asked for your presence, and Lord, you have not failed in giving us so. Lord, we want to say thank you for such a wonderful program and for such another wonderful day, Lord. Lord, I pray that you bless our leaders and you make all their dreams and aspirations come to fruition, for they have great plans for us. I also pray that whatever we have heard today will reach the homes of every single Ghanaian, so that they may appreciate the effort of our leaders and support it more. Lord, I pray that you be with our country and you continue to help us to become greater and stronger. Amen.
Thank you very, very much, Esla Hagan.